Welcome everybody to round 2 of Trilogy Night at Valkyrie Vault. This is July 30th, Thursday night. Got Star Wars Unlimited. Once again, if you guys are looking for a place to play some Star Wars Unlimited, check out Valkyrie Vault Thursday nights, 6 p.m., $5 entry. So we have, once again, our player from round 1 is back, this time being able to play their third Trilogy deck, Palpatine. I don't know what the color... Oh, right, they're playing green. It's Palpatine Ash Green against Ackbar Splash Green and Armorer Red. So that is the decks our opponents will be playing against each other. As a reminder, for Trilogy, you must win one game with both decks. So it's still a best 2 out of 3 format, but you must win one game with both decks to take the overall match. So with that said, let's jump into game number 1. Here we go, folks, for game number 1. The players have decided to go with Ackbar Splash Green versus Palpatine Ash Green. This is not red. This player just forgot a green base. They are not playing red. They are playing green. So let's do a quick synopsis of our leaders. Palpatine from Ash states on it, you may tap him, you may target a rested friendly unit. For each other unit that is on the board, give that unit a advantage token. He flips on 7 and then on attack does the exact kind of same thing. Target a friendly exhausted unit. You may give credit tokens to it to the amount of units other units you have on the board state. So basically, mass a giant board, target a rested guy, give it a bunch of advantage tokens, restand, swing with your big guy to win the game. So that's kind of the gimmick of the deck. You're just building a big board state, giving a bunch of challenge tokens to one of your exhausted units, and then going from there. Ackbar states on his front side action, pay 1, tap him, he may target a unit on the board state, rest it, rest it. The controller of that unit gets to create a X-Wing token. And then he flips on 6, does the exact same thing on his backside as well. On attack, you may exhaust a unit on the board state, then its controller creates an X-Wing token. Typically, more people play this as a control strategy with him, controlling your opponent's board state by resting their stuff and giving them X-Wing tokens. The truth be told, Ackbar more should be an aggro strategy. You rest your stuff, create X-Wing tokens, and put pressure on your opponent to counteract the fact that you are creating X-Wing tokens. A great way to do that is that you could just create one X-Wing token, and then pay 1 and rest that X-Wing token, creating more X-Wing tokens. Basically, amass a large presence in space that your opponent then has to counteract in some way, and then you can play the counter game of using your space units to crash into your opponent's space units to counter, and then play a game in the ground as well. It's very interesting to see a Splash Green base instead of Data Vault. Ackbar was playing a lot in Data Vault in the Law meta, or maybe even in the Law meta. He did have a couple tops in the Law meta as well, so it was Ackbar Data Vault. Even before the Law meta and the Sec meta, he had a few tops as well, but it was with Data Vault, so very interesting to see this. But the whole kind of gimmick is that you're just going to make X-Wing tokens. Instead of being more controlly on your opponent, giving them the X-Wing tokens and resting out their stuff, you're playing more aggro style, giving yourself the X-Wing tokens and forcing your opponent to have to counter it. So with that said, let's get into game number 1. So anyways, we're going to start off with, oh shoot, I still don't even know that unit's name. So anyways, we're going to go for an A-Wing for Ackbar, and then we're going to go for another one of those, and then we're going to go for, apologies, I believe that is the outer circle ace, the 1/2/2 from Ash now. So anyways, then we're going to, of course, go for, Palpatine, and then it's going to target one of those First Order units. Again, it's for every other friendly unit on the board. I believe they have to also be rested. I can't remember that. But anyways, it only gets 1 advantage token here. Then we're going to go for, oh shoot, that's the 2 cost that if you control more space units, deal 4 damage to 1 unit. Forgetting the name. Anyways, we're going to go for the A-Wing. A-Wing is going to deal 2 damage at the base. No, it's going to go for Ackbar. Ackbar is going to rest the A-Wing to then create an X-Wing token here. And then we're going to have then the First Order unit attack here. We did play out a Treya as well, which is pretty nice. Then we're going to, of course, be able to attack with the 2 with the open circle ace there, swinging for 2. Again, they did have 1 extra resource. Anyways, we're going to go then for, of course, a Chancellor the Emperor there to give a advantage token to the First Order unit. Again, I don't know what that name of that First Order unit is. If I don't see enough of it in my own playing or building decks around it, then I really don't fully remember it myself. So unless I've played it personally, a lot of times that's how I know a lot of the cards here. But it is cool to see Dark Terea coming in. Anyways, we're going to go for, again, we're going to go for the Ackbar resting at the A-Wing. Again, the A-Wing does have Raid 2, but it only naturally has 1 attack point. So anyway, that's going to create another X-Wing token. Again, that's exactly what we want to do. So anyways, we're going to then go for the mono black card from Ash that allows you to destroy an advantage token and then draw 2 cards. Anyways, we're going to have an X-Wing swing 2 damage into the base here, and then we're going to have the first order unit swing 2 damage to the base, and then we're going to have an open circle ace swing 2 damage to the base. We do have the Dark Terea to trigger here because Dark Terea is going to be able to swing and then on attack restand the unit here. So anyways, we're going to go for a Screeching TIE Fighter. Again, we want more units out there. We're going to go for Blue Leader to immediately kill off the Screeching TIE Fighter. And then again, we're going to go for a that's the card from LOF that I'm completely blanking out. So anyways, then we're going to go for the Emperor to give 2 advantage tokens to the First Order unit, and then Trey is going to be able to restand a card on the board state. So anyways, that's going to restand the Palpatine on his leader side, and then we're going to rest the Palpatine again to give 2 credit tokens to the fighter. Forged Fighter? I think it's the Forged Fighter? I can't fully remember. I believe that is it. But nonetheless, it's the mono black fighter from LOF. So anyways, apologies for the glare there. I had to put my camera in a different location. So again, the Dark Terea is really nice. It's unfortunate I never really got to play around with her with the GI leader from Sparkle Rebellion here. Is we're going to have an X-Wing sacrifice itself into the fighter there, removing it. Again, it's not too hard to rest an A-Wing and then create another X-Wing. Then we're going to have 4 damage coming at the base there from, of course, the First Order unit. Again, the 2 advantage tokens give it a +2, and then they immediately disappear on attack. Again, it's real nice about advantage and how that works. So anyways, we're going to go for Beguile to bounce back the Terea, and then we see a Snub, Terea, and a Kijimi. Technically, the Terea should bounce back to hand. That is Beguile. Terea should be a 3. I don't know why Terea got bounced back. Isn't getting bounced back there. So anyways, we're going to go for Ackbar to rest the A-Wing to make another X-Wing token. Ackbar's done that now 3 times. But we only have 2 X-Wings. And then we're going to go play a 1 for a Republic Y-Wing. We can just see where our Ackbar player is sitting right now is in space. Anyways, Blue Leader is going to go for 3. It's just really strange that Beguile did not spin back the Dark Terea. That looks to be a misconception of Beguile. So anyways, we're going to go for Kijimi, taking that Forge Fighter as a TIE Fighter. We're going to have the X-Wing kill the Kijimi, and then we're going to go for a Palpatine to immediately give 2 advantage tokens to the First Order unit. Then we're going to have the open ace kill off the TIE Fighter for the Kijimi created, and then basically we're kind of seeing also what you need to do against this Palpatine. Just cut them off, units. Just cut them off. Kill them as they come in. Slaughter them away. Kill them. And then the Ackbar is just going to create more X-Wing tokens in space. I mean, that's a bunch of 2/2s that your opponent's got to deal with. Again, it's interesting that people have played him more like as a control strategy. I can control my opponent's board state, rest their units, and do all that. No, you kind of want to play aggro. That's what you want to do. He wants to be aggro. You want to flood your space arena with X-Wings and force your opponent to have to counteract all these 2/2 bodies that are going to swing at them. So anyways, we did have a flip of Ackbar there. He is 3/8 again on attack. You may rest a unit a player controls, and that player who controls that unit then creates an X-Wing token. So, but as of right now, I mean, it's 14 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I believe 9. Yeah, it's 14 to 9. So I mean, Palpatine technically does have the advantage in damage. Doesn't really have much of the advantage in the space front. So anyways, we're just going to go for a Unity and a Purpose there, which again is the card they were playing out of aspect for the Splash base. So the Splash base was only here for Unity and Purpose. So Unity and Purpose states that give each unit +2/+2 for each different named unit on the board state. So in this case, you would have X-Wing, A-Wing, Open Circle, Blue Leader, Y-Wing, and Ackbar. So all of those, you would get a +2 for each different name on that. So basically, this board state becomes near impossible to deal with because of Unity and Purpose. So pretty cool little tech there for the whole reason to play the Splash base to remove the extra penalty cost for using this double green card, but still very cool. I remember back in the day when Rex Unity was being played in the meta. So basically, it was Rex from Shadows of the Rex from Twilight of the Republic and a green base, or I believe it was ECL, was it? But he may have just been playing. Oh no, he played the Droid Factory, Droid Manufacturum. So it was Rex Unity Manufacturum. And then the whole gimmick, when you flip Rex, create 2 Battle Droid tokens, you play a bunch of Republic units, then you would, on the next turn after Rex flips, you go Unity and Purpose, you buff everything up to bajillion, and then you would beat stick your opponent in the face with all of it. But nonetheless, Ackbar Splash Green gets the win against Palpatine Ash Green. So let's see what happens next. Again, this player must now win with Armorer Red, while this player must still win with both Palpatine Ash and Vane Yellow. Alright folks, so here we go. So it looks like this player is sticking with their Palpatine Ash Green. Again, they must win with this deck to must win with this deck and then win with Vane Yellow to get the full match, while this player only just needs to win with the armor. And the armor is from Ash. States action tapper, you may play an upgrade from your resources onto a unit you played that phase, paying of course the cost for the upgrade. So it doesn't really sound all that great on the front side, because literally you just can't do anything. You play a unit, you probably burn through all your resources. Well, you're definitely not going to be playing any upgrades onto that unit. You just played that phase. What she gets better is when she flips over. On attack, you can just play any upgrade from your resources, paying its cost onto any unit. They don't even have to have come in that turn. They could just play it on anybody. So the whole kind of gimmick, you're going to play a lot of upgrades. You can stick them in your resources. Then you're going to use the armor to bring them out of your resources so that you can play around with that. So it's a really cool mechanic of a deck. I don't think it's all that great of a leader, especially because it's blue-green and has no access to heroic and no access to villainy. Technically, she'd be heroic, but no access to heroic cards at all. You must play mono, so you can not even play a heroic unless you're going to pay out of aspect cost for it. And splash spaces don't help you either, because splash spaces do not ignore heroic or villainy tags. They can only ignore command, aggression, cunning, and vigilance aspect penalties. So nonetheless, we have a deck of just a bunch of upgrades. So we'll have to see if that can win it out against our Palpatine, or if Palpatine's going to be able to win the game and then go to Vane. So here we go for all that. So anyways, we're starting off with Palpatine here, because again, they did lose the game, so they are able to choose. So anyways, we're going to go for a Rookie Rocket Jumper, and then a First Order unit, and a Chio fan on the armor side of the board. And then we're going to trigger the Palpatine effect to then give a advantage token to, of course, the First Order unit, because again, there's one other rested unit right now on the board state. So we're then going to go, I believe it has to be rested. It's all other friendly rested units that you can get that many advantage tokens to unit. So anyways, again, Chio Fan on attack, you may choose to have two players draw one card. So we're going to have the Rookie Rocket Jumper to die to the Chio Fan there, and then we're not going to decide to go for the draw there. So again, the Rookie Rocket Jumper is a 2/2. I thought it was a 2/3 for some weird reason. So anyways, again, they're just discussing about the armor and how it all works out together. Again, remember, it can only play upgrades from its resources, paying its cost on a unit that entered phase. Turn that face. Anyways, we're going to go for the Dark Trader. We're going to go for a Droid Laser Turret coming in shielded with being a Sentinel as well, which does mean it will kill, of course, the First Order unit if it does decide to go in for an attack here. So we're just going to pass again. The Emperor cannot do anything, because I believe he has to only give advantage tokens to a rested unit for all other rested units on the board state. I believe that's a misconception on me when I first discussed them. Anyways, we're going to do Stronger Together to create 2 Mandalorian tokens coming in shielded. We have 2 experience tokens coming in with shield tokens on them. Anyways, then we're going to go for a Droid Laser Turret. It's going to get a oh shoot, I forget that card. But allows you to rest a unit when played. Then we're going to go for a Cybernetic Enhancement there to draw 1 card when played. Anyways, we're going to go for the Chancellor here, and then we're going to give 2 advantage tokens to a unit here. We're going to give 2 advantage tokens to a Mandalorian. Then we're going to have the Droid Laser Turret kill off the Dark Terrea there, taking 2 damage, so the Dark Terrea can't continue its combo line of stuff. Anyways, we're going to have the Chio Fan smack into the Mandalorian token. And then that's going to be a no draw there, but that's going to remove the shield and the advantage token onto it. Again, a best way to deal with the Emperor here is you just got to keep them off of units. Don't let them get over-rested units. So anyways, we're going to have a Mandalorian token be able to kill off the droid laser turret, killing it off there with its 2 damage, pushing it over that threshold. So we're just going to have to see now what else we have in store for our armorer side of the board state. Again, remember, they're taking a look at the resources, figuring out what they can play for on any unit. This turn, we're going to go for an Axe of Wolves, bringing that down. And then we're going to go for a Nils Storm Sower on the Emperor side. Then we're going to go for a Nimble. There was Nimble. And then we're going to rest down the Mandalorian. Then we're going to have a Dark Torreya come out. Then we're going to flip the armor because it does come out 5. We're going to have a Corrupt Politician come out. Again, it does have Sentinel if you control more units than your opponent. Then we're going to have the Emperor go off again, 2 advantage tokens to the Mandalorian. Then we're going to go for a Han Solo coming in with a shield, and then that is going to be a pass. So far, it doesn't look too hot for the armor, though the Axe Wolves is a little bit dangerous because he does get a +1/+1 for each upgrade attached to him. So anyways, we're going to have the Mandalorian token kill off the armor there in one full spell shot there. Then we're going to have the Han Solo kill off the Nil because it's going to be able to gain the experience token on the attack trigger. Then we're going to have Dark Torreya kill off the Storm Sower. Could have restood the Mandalorian, but it looks like they're not going to go for that. And then we're going to have a triple Durasteel Axe Wolves here. Anyways, we're also going to go for the draw 2, destroy an upgrade, or destroy an advantage token to draw 2 there, destroying it off of the Mando token. Then we're going to go for a First Order TIE Fighter and an A-Wing on the Chancellor side. So as a reminder, remember, Axe Wolves gets a +1 for each upgrade attached to him. So right now he is getting a whole bunch of upgrades. We're going to go for the Whistling Birds here, and then we're going to flip the Chancellor, and then we're going to go for a good old Snub Fighter, resting the Axe Wolves. Not too bad of a thing to do there, especially because the Axe Wolves is getting a +4 for the 4 normal upgrades onto it, plus a number 3 because it's got all the shield tokens attached to it, and then it also has 3, 3, 1, and 2 attached to his health points. So, and also the Whistling Birds is just a really fun card. On attack, you may deal 2 damage to each of your opponent's ground units. So we're just going to play 1 Snub Fighter there to allow, of course, for to immediately rest that. No one ever expects the Snub Fighter. Anyways, it's going to go on to a Chancellor Palpatine. That is, of course, the upgrade. By the way, it does not state friendly units, just a unit that come in this phase, play an upgrade onto it. So that is also the upgrade. I can't remember the name of it, but in the regrouping phase, your opponent cannot restand that unit unless they pay 3 resources to do so. So our opponent is just deciding the math out to see if they can try to deal with the X-Wolves, especially because the X-Wolf does have the Whistling Birds attached to it, but also trying to figure out if they can even survive here because the X-Wolves is swinging for a whole lot of damage here. We're going to go for the First Order TIE Fighter swinging 2 damage. It does not have its raid because there is no token unit. So anyways, we're going to punch into the base here, and then we're going to go for Stronger Together to create 2 more Mandalorian tokens. Then we're going to have the Emperor swing in, and then that is going to be able to count up a bunch, and then we're going to give a bunch of advantage tokens to a guy, because again, for each other friendly rested unit to whatever it's going to be a target. So A-Wing's just going to get a whole bunch of advantage tokens there. So yeah, it is on rested units. So anyways, we are going to, looks like the Chancellor, the Emperor is going to be paying the 3 there. He is not going to be very amazed. He is very much on the power of the dark side. So anyways, that X-Wolves is going to be very dangerous here because now it's going to swing for a whole bunch of damage because of all that. And then that's going to be 2 damage to every single ground unit because of the Whistling Birds. We're just counting it up, figuring out how big that X-Wolves is. So anyways, we're going to go for 20 damage on, no, 25. So now we have 25 damage on the base, and then 2 damage to every single ground unit. So that's going to pop the 2 Mandalorian shields. That is going to kill the Mandalorian. That is going to leave Dark Torreya on 1 health point left. And then we're going to have the A-Wing swing for a whole bunch of damage as well, putting up our opponent to 21. So unless they have a way to survive. So we have Lats. Lats is then going to be able to give herself an experience token and be able to kill anything at once. So it looks like we're just going to kill off the Dark Torreya there from the battlefield. Then 2 damage from an Mandalorian token, and then 2 damage from another Mandalorian token, plus the 4 damage in space, plus the Chancellor's damage. So honestly, I mean, game is then there and locked. Not much they can do there. So the armor can, of course, play can do something if it wants to play an upgrade onto a unit that just arrived this turn. So we are going to go for a Cybernetics to go put onto a Lats here. Then that's going to be able to draw one card. And then, of course, you do put the top card of your resources for, of course, using the Armor's effect. So there is the draw 1 for the Cybernetics. Then we're going to go for the 2, and then we're going to swing in the Chancellor and then the Emperor, and that's just going to be the game then and there. Meaning we have to go to the all-important game number 3, where the Armorer Red has to go up against Vane Yellow. All right, folks, this is for all of the marbles. Armorer Red versus Vane Yellow. Whoever gets this win claims the final win with their second deck and is able to claim the match. You cannot have anything better than Game 3 in the TCG world. So let's get going. Here we go, folks, for game number 3. Let us see what's going to start off. The Armor is going to start off with a Leppy Lookout, and then we're going to have a Flare on the Vane side of the board. Claim, and then we're going to have a Vane killing off the advantage token to immediately allow for 2 damage. I'm constantly going to say credit tokens throughout the for this match, and I apologize. I think I said it for round 1, 2, because the credit tokens are technically the advantage tokens. Anyways, we're going to go for a Whistling Bird, and then, ooh, there's Vane Snub Fighter. Again, Whistling Bird has no effect here. So anyways, we're going to go 2 damage from the Flare. Vane Snubfire, like I said, is when a friendly unit completes an attack that damage the base, give it an advantage token that includes itself as well. It's really good with Vane if you can get it to continue the combo off. So anyways, Leppy Lookout did swing 5 damage, and then of course we had Vane destroying the credit token off of his own Snub Fighter and allowing 2 damage to put more on the base. Like I said, Vane is a very good like chip damagey, quick push damage onto your opponent's base as long as you can continue to get upgrades attached to your unit. So anyways, we have another Leppy Lookout coming down without its shield token attached to it. Then anyways, we're going to have the Flare swing in, then we're going to have the Snub Fighter gain a advantage token. Then we're going to have a Han Solo come down. Then we're going to have the Snub Fighter lose its advantage token by Vane to deal 2 damage to the base here. Again, the Leppy Lookout can swing for more. And then we're going to go for a Nimble, which is just going to give a +1 to the attack there. We're going to go for Vane Snub Fighter on the base there. Then, like I said, it does give itself an advantage token, especially if it damaged. And we're going to go for the Leppy Lookout. And I do not know what got put out into the the shuttle. So then we're going to pay the 4 for the shuttle. So we're going to steal the shield token from the Han Solo to put onto the Flare. And then we're going to put a shield token on the shuttle as well, as this shuttle does come in shielded itself. So we have a pretty interesting little space front going on by right now. The ground is getting a little out of hand because we have 2 Leppy Lookouts, one of which is hyper buffed up. And then we're going to go for a, I believe that's supposed to be Cybernetics. I'm not sure what upgrade is under Han Solo right now. So anyways, we're going to then swing, we're going to trigger the Vane to kill off the advantage token off of the Vane Snubfighter to do 2 damage. And then we're going to have another advantage token come onto the Vane Snubfighter through the Flare. And then we're going to have Leppy Lookout and the Han Solo swing. Then we're going to have the shuttle swing and giving another advantage token to the Vane Snubfighter. Then we're going to flip for the Armorer. Armorer is now out, as well as Vane can come out this turn as well. But things are looking a little grim on the Armor side. That is already 20 damage. Vane definitely is up there as well, don't get me wrong. So one thing you can do this turn is you can, of course, flip Vane, and Vane can swing and then knock out one of the advantage tokens off of his own Snub Fighter, and then that gives you everything. Then we're going to have the Armor attack, looking at the resources, saying if we want to play any upgrades. Nope, we're going to have the Snub Fighter attack and then give itself a advantage token after it burns advantage token. Then we're going to have a Durasteel plating and grabbing, of course, putting a shield token under the Leppy Lookout when played. And then we do have the Blockade Runner as well on the Vane side, which gains an experience token as long as it can damage the base. It does have Saboteur as well, so it does get blocked through Sentinels. Anyways, we do have a flip of the Vane, and then we're going to have the Leppy Lookout is going to attack, I believe, the base here. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough to kill this turn, but it is going to be very, very close indeed. So anyways, that is going to be 7 damage onto the base there, putting it to 27, and then that's going to be a claim, because unfortunately for the Vane player, they were not able to get the kill there. So even if they put 3 more damage, putting that up to 27, all they could do is put it to 29. There's just no way to push it with Vane's effect in any way or possibility. So not much you could do here, so we're going to go for commence the festivals, and then we're basically going to go for its Saboteur effect. So commence the festival, they were hoping that their opponent would not resource another card, because they resourced one as well. I don't think I can't remember what it was, but I knew the fact that they were hoping their opponent would resource one. because then they could go on the commence the festival on Vane. Vane could then swing, kill off this credit token, and because they're at lower resources count, they also get a +2. So Vane swings for 5, then +2, so 7 altogether. That would have been the game then and there. So very close one in the end there, but Armorer Red was able to get the match, meaning that this player wins the Trilogy event. But you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments on our decks, on Armor Red, on Ackbar Splash Green, on Vane Yellow, and on Palpatine Ash Green. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments on those decks if you're going to try them out, or if you guys have also tried out Trilogy and what your favorite decks to play in Trilogy are. And with that said, guys, while you're commenting, do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you know if my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Dragons TV.